kind of nice to do sort of regionally themed streams, at least some of the time. So for today, maybe Eastern Europe. We can have African, North, South America, and so on. Everything's somewhat semantic, but I also like things like verb initial languages, that kind of thing.
Okay, so more like categorized streams.
Yeah, I think it might make, I don't know, might make a more meaningful grouping.
Okay, I realized we did miss a verb initial one yesterday,
What's that?
I believe. Is it Hawaiian verb initial?
I don't know. Let's do some in a bit here and find out.
Okay.
It is certainly comment initial, I think. That seems to be the preferred word order. But I don't know about the verb itself.
Okay.
But let's find out. So I'm going to break that thing. I'm going to start with Romanian now.
So blue, yellow, red is the Romanian. Okay.
Let's see.
On the flag. Yeah.
The real deal. Yeah, slightly different colors. This nice seal here. Kind of pretty. And our theme is adjectives.
Noi suntem mândri.
Can you hear it? Oh, you're probably not.
Yep.
Okay, good. It's awfully quiet.
Noi suntem mândri.
So, what do you see in that suntem?
Oh wow. So this is the verb sunt, which is third plural, but it has the first person M stuck on the end.
First plural to be precise, noi. And the first person I am is also sunt, io sunt.
Okay.
They're homophonous as they are in Italian, but different forms. Well, now mândri, let's listen.
Noi suntem mândri.
Mândri. Here we can hear the
Mândri.
E, it's a voiced one. Very often the E will be, the plural marker will be devoiced, but it'll cause changes to the consonants.
Mândri.
Proud. Huh. We are proud.
Fata e mică.
Mică. What is fata? Do you remember? Do you recognize?
Let me see it.
Oh, yes.
I guess I'm a visual.
Fata.
So maybe a verb? No. Maybe.
The girl. It has the definite marking and clitic on it. Fata with a bold accent mark. Is mică.
Mică.
Small. Okay. We might have some relative of this adjective in English too.
Voi aveți un mărud.
Voi aveți un măr ud. What do you recognize here? Ud.
Ud.
Wet. Wow, very close to the Indo-European form.
Y'all have a food is wet, so a wet ocean, sea.
Apple.
Oh.
A wet apple. Un măr ud. Voi aveți.
Voi aveți un mărud.
Here too, it's not a plural noun, but the final E there after a voiceless is devoiced.
Eu am un măr uscat. Tu ai un mărud.
Eu am un măr uscat, tu ai un măr ud. Uscat looks like dry.
Uscat.
Yeah. Eu am, not I am, but I have. A dry apple, you have a wet apple.
Noi suntem grei.
Noi suntem, we are grei.
Grei.
Oh, look at that. What's that reflect? Grei, meaning heavy, and it's plural.
Let's see. I know some forms of this. I think it's grave in French.
Yep. So
I don't know, would it be gravis?
Gravis is the singular, plural, graves.
Okay, I know the derived noun, which is gravitas.
Yes, and that itas we have in English too in health. The itho ending. Itas. We are heavy. Grey. So the v has dropped out. Fused with
Ei sunt copii murdari.
Okay, here listen for the final E on the adjective.
Ei sunt copii murdari.
Murdar. The R I think is devoiced as well. Ei sunt, that is they. Illi, it would be.
Ei.
They are. Murdar.
Murdari.
Dirty. They're murderously dirty. Dirty boys. Children. Copii.
Ele sunt feterele.
Fete. Ele sunt feterele. They are real girls. Rele.
Rele.
Bad. But fete looks like umlaut, plural of fată.
Cristian nu este un băiat curat.
Curat. Nu este un băiat curat. Is not a curat. Like cared for?
Curat.
Clean. I wonder if it comes from the word care for. Not a clean boy. Curat. Kta form. Curat. The Romanian one. Curatus. That's what it is. Participle of curo. Clean. And the antonym murdar. Aha. From Persian through Turkish. Do you know the vowels of Persian? You there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you know
I
the
don't
vowels?
know the vowels of Persian now.
What's that?
Let's see. You asked me the vowels of Persian.
Yeah, do you know them? There's 6 of them.
Okay.
The answer was no?
Do I know them? I do not.
Okay, there's three long ones which have written marks for them. The long ah is a darker sound, and the short one, the short low vowel, is a. So the opposite of Hungarian. E and u, the high ones, are long. E, o are short and unwritten.
Okay.
So in a case like this, it's going to be, you see the o in the transliteration, not present in the spelling. And the long ah written with aleph is mordar, that one. Mordar. And in Turkish, murdar. I don't know if Turkish has long vowels per se. You get them on the surface.
Ei nu sunt acri.
Acri. Yei. They are not acri. Sharp.
Acri.
Sour, that one.
Oh, like,
We have it in vinegar as the second component.
wow, okay.
Vinaigre. What kind of compound is that, Levi? Vinaigre from French?
Oh, sour like wine?
I'm sorry?
Is it sour like wine?
There's no like. Neither in the form nor in the meaning. It comes from...
It's
right?
not really a wine, though.
Well,
It's
if you
not
believe...
I mean, I guess it is both wine. No, it's not wine, though. And it is sour, though.
It can...
So that would be one compound. So that is what is it? A tatpurush. Hang on. Let me look it up in my notes.
Absolutely. Take your time.
Doi băieți murdari, două fete curate.
Băieți. This is the plural for boy. Băiat, băieți. And note the sound of the plural marker.
Doi băieți murdari, două fete curate.
In the masculine, that final E devoices. Băieți. It also mutates the T to a Ts. Murdaș. Also mutates the R, but there's no special mark for it. So it's two dirty boys. Love it.
Is it tatpurusha?
It is, and it's a specific subtype as well, which we've touched on before. Tatpurusha. And for short...
Paramgaraya.
There's no G. It is a Karmadharaya.
Duh. Oh, I mixed it with the duh and the duh again.
Karmadharaya. The one after the D is a long one.
Harder.
And for short, I like to put
Harder.
KH. Yeah, it is wine that is sour. Sour wine. So if it were an inflected language and you were talking about it in different cases, the two components would have the same case marking. That's how you know it's a Karmadharaya. Two dirty boys, too clean. And remember what we were noticing about Italian nominative marking that preserves the actual Latin nominatives rather than the accusatives? That's true of Romanian too. The plural E like, is the nominative one for an O stem, and the feminine plural E
Curate.
from I, from the diphthong, is also nominative, not accusative. Just, not shus. Two dirty boys, two clean girls.
Voi aveți supă acră.
Super acră. You want to try this one? It'll show up soon. Voi aveți super acră. Voi aveți super acră.
Y'all have.
Good.
Sour. The sour word we just saw.
Good. That's the one.
Soup.
Soup. That is my guess as well, and it seems to be correct.
Doi băieți rei și două feterele.
Doi
băieți rei și două feterele.
Rei
și două
fete. Rele. Okay, both bad. Look at the diverse forms for bad. The third word, rei.
Doi băieți rei și două feterele.
Rele, feminine plural. Rei.
Rai for bad. Wow, that sounds like probably by accident, but like Hebrew ra for bad.
Ah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Interesting. So what's going to be, probably rel will be the basic form. Let's see if we can find. Or I can just go to translate and say, give me Romanian word for bad. Rău. Okay, localization of the L, it seems. Let's look up the history. I don't think Hebrew will have had a huge influence on the words of Romanian. Reus, defendant, accused. Oh, do you know what English legal phrase we have this in? Reus. The noun that's with is mind. With a guilty mind. It's a technical legal phrase. Mens rea.
Mens rea. Nope, I haven't heard of that.
But then some suffix must have been added. Maybe diminutive. Oh, it's a rău. So R schwa U.
Ud sau uscat?
Ud sau uscat. Do you remember this? Ud sau uscat.
Ud was wet.
Good. Cognate, in fact.
Uscat is dry.
So, yes. Sau is or.
Sau, okay.
Now, ud is interesting.
Wet or dry.
That's exactly the shape of the Sanskrit root, ud, and the inflected third singular active indicative present, unnati. Unnati. And this is a really nice derivation. You might recall we talked about bhu bhavati, the underlying structure of it. Bhu becomes bhu when we add shap, tip, are two morphemes. Here we also have a shep, but it's been replaced. Because of the verb class that this is in, the underlying structure here, and I think it means either to wet something or to be wet. Let's find out. Unnati. Anyway, it's related to wet and water and ooze and all those nice words. Winter too, probably. Unnati.
Wow.
That's the surface form. We recognize tip, the last two sounds. P drops, we get a T. And the parts are the root ud plus schnum. And then tip. We skip the stage where we specify the tense. The tense is called lert, meaning present. So here we go. Ud, to bathe, to flow, to spring, to wet. Flow or spring, these meanings. So be watery, kind of. Ud. So how do you get from ud to unati? What is going on with schnum? Now the sh, I forget what the function of the sh is here, but the m, I can tell you, is similar to the t augment, or the t it marker, and the k it marker. But what the m tells me is insert this right after the last vowel. So this one burrows its way into the root. We get u, that's the last vowel of the root, and then we get schnum coming up after it, and that'll be n. And then we finish the root, d. This is now the form. Ud and schnum, they fuse into unud. Make sense?
Ud and schnum make unud.
The M is indicatory. It's not part of the sound. Let me zoom in a bit in my notepad. Make it nice and big. Ud, schnum, dip, unud, d. And then all you have to do when these two consonants meet, the voicing is anticipatory. The d devoices. So we get unud, d.
Okay.
Isn't that nice? So the n increment is similar to what we see in Latin, invincible compared to victor, victim. The n is an infix into the root. There's a few of them in Latin and Greek, a few more in Greek. There's plenty in, well, I don't know, several dozen verb roots that do it in Sanskrit. It's an old feature of Indo-European. Nasal infixation.
Ești mică?
Ești mică. I think this is the voi form. Are you small? You plural.
Ei sunt copii murdari.
Are y'all small? And copii means children, not boys. They are children who are dirty. Yeah, they are dirty children.
Oh, apparently, I looked it up. All these little Duolingo cartoon characters have names.
They have names? Is that what you said? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How nice. Just like in Panini, all the roots and all the morphemes have names too. Even the meaningless things, the augments, they've got names like nurt. Okay, so for those of you joining us or watching later, welcome back to Language Institute. I'm your VerbAlly. That was a bit of Romanian to start with. Then a question arose about Hawaiian. So we're going to leave Eastern Europe for a bit. Jump into the Pacific. What's the flag look like here? There it is.
For Hawaiian, it has a British flag in the corner.
Called the Union Jack. What topics shall we jump? Let's go right to household.
Technically, it's the Union flag. It's only the Union Jack that's flown over water.
Oh, is that right? Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these ke and ka words, I believe, are articles. They look a lot like them. Ke anuanu. Looks like it means cold. Kalumi kuke. And I think it's head noun first in a compound or phrase. Kalumi kuke for the kitchen. That would explain how lumi is there in bedroom too. Kalumi moe.
Also, kuke is to cook or something.
Oh, good guess, yeah. Seems a reasonable thing. Kuke. Ka'o malu malu. Ka'o malu malu.
Aya oye kalumi kuke.
Kalumi kuke, that's the kitchen. Aya o iya. So it does look like it's verb initial. Is or there is. Is he, and is e, does that mean in? Yes, e means in, just like in Irish and the Norse languages. Where else? Okay, so the word order is quite Irish-like.
But it doesn't have the, like, agam and those prepositional pronouns.
Are you talking about in this particular sentence? Or generally? Do you mean in this particular sentence we're looking at?
Yeah.
Well, why would there be one here?
I guess, yeah, because you would say in Irish, ashe, I don't remember
It
the
would
word
be
for
a
kitchen.
sa. I don't know the word for kitchen. But there wouldn't be an agam here, I don't think, unless I'm missing.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's not at me or anything. You're talking about the possessive construction, right? That's a different thing. Here we're talking about
Yeah.
a person's location. That would be prepositional, though, in the kitchen. I kalumi kuke.
Aia o ka leo mahea.
Aya okaleo mahea. Oh, this ma for directional. Where. Mahea means where. That rhymes with where. Where is kaleo?
Moi.
Moe.
Moi.
Aia oi kalumi kuke.
Kalumi kuke in the kitchen. Ai oe I kalumi kuke are you, I think. Kitcha.
Aia oi makalumi moe.
Aya oia makalumi moe. Makalumi moe. Is this also in? In at. Interesting. Aya oia makalumi moe. Is he, she in the bedroom?
Aia o makahale.
Aya au makahale. Aya au. Do you know what this one means? Makahale.
Aya au makahala. No, I'm afraid I don't.
I am at home. Makahale.
Okay.
Hale. One of those old Austronesian words, I think.
Aia o ikahale.
Aya au ikahale. Alright, same thing with a different preposition. At the house, okay.
Aia o ka iulani hea.
Aya o ka iulani ihea. So an interesting effect of fronting the verb like this is you have a discontinuous predicate. Aya o ka iulani ihea. Where is ka iulani?
Aia o ka leo ihea.
Aya o ka leo ihea. Where is ka leo?
Aia oi makalumi kuke.
Aya oia makalumi kuke. Wanna try this one? Aya oia makalumi kuke.
Okay. Makalumi cookie. Let's see, in the kitchen. In my kitchen.
No, I don't think
He
so.
is.
I don't think there's a my.
Not my. Okay.
My is just ma is a preposition, and that is all.
Okay.
Not a fusion.
Ka is what? An article?
I believe so. Aya to be. He's in the kitchen. Aya oia makalumi kuke. The bedroom, we gotta get kalumi moe. So, very close to Irish syntax. I'm glad you mentioned that. We will include that the next time we do verb initial ones, because I wanted to get a lot of genetic diversity when we did that. That would have increased it quite a lot. So, now, speaking of genetic diversity, let's go to a third family in as many lessons. Let's do Hungarian.
Okay.
And what does that flag look like? It's got, yeah, the reverse Italian. Or is it 90-degree rotated?
Well, let's see it. It shows on screen, I can tell you. Yeah, it would be 90 degrees.
Let's also do places to warm up.
Wait,
A
if it's
szálloda
90
ott van.
degrees, then that makes the Italian the Mexico minus the eagle.
A szálloda ott van. So in Hungarian, as mentioned earlier, talking about Persian vowels, the accented long A phoneme is front vowel,
Szálloda.
whereas the short one has some lip rounding. O. A szálloda ott van. Ott means there, van is to be, and a is the definite article, but this noun.
Szálloda.
Ott van.
Hello.
The hotel. There is. The new building is a railway station. Az. I think it's going to be building new. Épület.
Épület.
Új.
Új.
Egy. Pályaudvar.
Pályaudvar.
Pályaudvar. Az épület új egy pályaudvar. So no verb of being in this particular sentence. Edge is the numeral 1 or indefinite article.
Oh, similar to egg, though it's probably just a coincidence.
Probably. And what we should have said is the új épület. Okay, it's adjective, noun, 1, railway station. Yeah, alright.
A város nem kicsi, hanem nagy.
A város nem kicsi. Nem is a negative. Kicsi is like to be... Oh, it must be small. Hanem, but rather. Nagy is big. Nagy is a common family name. The city, város, is not small. Big but. The old building is a bank. A
Régi épület.
Egy bank.
Egy bank.
Bank. A régi épület egy bank. A régi épület egy bank.
Az nem pályaudvar.
Okay, az can be the article, but it's also just a deictic. That is not a railway station, but a hovercraft which is full of eels.
Oh, I see what you are saying. That's hilarious.
Oh look, they've all got names. As you said, Oscar, Vikram, and Lynn, Junior, Bea, Lucy, Zadi. How many? 9 of them. Thank you. Okay. This is a big river. This is going to be is and oz.
Ez.
Pointing words. Egy nagy.
Nagy. Egy. Nagy.
Folyó.
Folyó.
And I think ly is a single segment, a palatal L. In fact, I think generally when you see a y with things, it's a palatalizing diacritic rather than its own independent letter. They use J for a y. But we see it in age and nodge, the j one, and lia in folyó.
Hol van a folyó?
I understand. Sorry. I understand what you mean by it being a diacritic, but I don't know if I would call it one because it takes its own space. It doesn't like stick onto the previous letter.
Well, I mean, as far as its function, I don't think it denotes any phoneme of its own.
Okay.
Diacritic just in the sense of distinguishing other graphemes. The doctor is walking there. Okay, for there, there's two words, oda and ot. And I think the ot, what's the difference? Maybe ot is like static, whereas oda for a destination. Ooh, look at this nice complex sentence. Walking there where the teacher is waiting.
Az.
So, the doctor, I think, sétál. Orvos. Az
Orvos.
For where? Ahol. Okay. Ott. Sétál is walk.
Sétál.
There walks. Ahol.
Ahol.
Var.
Vár.
Vár, of course. Where it is the teacher. A tanár.
A tanár.
Tanár. I think it's like this. Ahol a tanár var. Some vár. So look at the freedom of word order in the second clause. There, or the relative one. Teacher there walks. You can say either where waits the teacher or where the teacher waits.
Az alacsony lányot vár, ahol te.
Az
alacsony. Az alacsony lányot vár, ahol te. Ott. Vár. Ahol. Az alacsony lány ott vár,
ahol te.
So I think it's the short or small girl is waiting there where you are. Waiting where you are waiting. Ah, elliptical. It really tickles my lip, this elliptical one. The var, repeated verb, is just dropped in the second one. In English, we can't really say, the short girl is waiting where you. We have to have a proverb, like, are doing so. The hotel is the hotel, right? The hotel is there. A szálloda.
A szálloda.
Wonder if we could also say von ott, but I think ott van would be
Ott
definitely
van.
acceptable. A szálloda ott van.
Ez régi szálloda. Ez régi
Szálloda.
szálloda.
New hotel. It is an old hotel. Ah, this is a sentence. It looks like a noun phrase. This is that same kind of thing we come up with. We come up against with Arabic and Hebrew. How do you distinguish determiner, adjective, noun, single noun phrase from a whole sentence? Now, es has its z on it. That may be significant, and maybe only oz, the distal one, is used as an article. Maybe if it's es, that's a noun phrase on its own. So maybe z could be, well, not always, but z could be taken as end of noun phrase. What kind of city is this?
Milyen város
is.
ez?
Yeah, what kind of city? And then this. No verb.
Milyen a bank? Milyen a bank?
What kind of bank is that? What is the bank like? So, note the word order, the clause order even. It is comment topic, I think. But maybe the comment is fronted because it's interrogative.
Az új pályaudvar nem ott van, hanem itt. Az új pályaudvar nem ott van, hanem
But
itt.
rather, it is not there, but here. And it's the new pályaudvar railway station. It is not there, but here. The new railway station, yeah. The new building is a railway station.
Az új épület
Egy pályaudvar.
egy pályaudvar.
Let's return to Romanian and then go to a Slavic one.
Eu am un frigider nou.
Looks like a brand name, don't you think? Frigider, well, you'll see it shortly. Eu am un frigider nou. So much nicer recognizing words in a Romance language.
Femei are o farfurie
Romanian.
mare.
That's the plan. Yeah, back in Romanian for a moment. Femeia are o farfurie mare. Femeia are. Do you remember what O is in Romanian? Just the one letter O?
Is it an article?
It is. The woman has a
Farfurie
plate of apples.
mare.
Oh, this is not mur with the accent, but mare meaning large. O in Romanian reflects una, whereas Portuguese u, spelled the same, reflects ille, the, or illum, I should say.
Noi nu suntem vii?
Noi nu suntem vii. Are we not? Could vi be? Could it be old?
Vii.
Vi, alive. Looks like the number 7. Are we not alive? You think you are, therefore you are.
Eu scriu o scrisoare lungă.
Nice one. Scrisoare is a letter, a written thing. Eu scriu. Look how it preserves the O for the first ending. I write a long letter.
Risoare is letter. What do you make of that suffix?
Scrisoare? It's a good question. I don't have any feelings of identity with it. You have any suspicions?
I don't. I think it's very unique. I haven't seen it before.
So it's got a suit,
It's
a little
obviously
bag.
a nominalizer of some kind.
Could be. It might have to do with, like we have in mortuary or something, some kind of nominalizer like that. Ario, arium, aria or something. Scrisoare. So it's got a little placeholder for an entry, but no entry itself. Romanian words suffixed with oare, though, is a list. Mulsoare, strânsoare, măsurătoare. At least 20 of them there. Oh, yep. It's kind of nice. I like the categories on Wiktionary. That's very helpful for learners.
Noi avem un prânz englezesc.
Prânz. I think that's prandium, the name of one of the meals, a breakfast, I believe. Do you recognize this englezesc?
English?
That's my suspicion. It looks like it has a double place or a double adjective forming suffix on it. Anglais, anglaise.
Like the tea.
Sorry? Say again?
There's a tea called English breakfast tea.
English breakfast tea, yes. They probably don't call it that in the UK, I would suspect. Noi avem.
I suppose not. But an English breakfast just reminds me of that tea.
Yes, but do you see what I'm saying about the double suffix, double adjective suffix? Anglaise could be from the French feminine form. And then onto that, esque, from Latin iscus, or even Germanic iscas. We have an English-ish breakfast.
Prânz.
Lunch! Prandium. We have an English lunch.
El are o pară nouă.
Nice. El are o pară nouă. Pară.
Pară.
Or young pair. He has a new pair, fresh.
Nouă.
And look at the three
Nouă.
meanings here for nouă. New or nine or to us. He has a new pair.
Tort românesc sau tort englezesc?
Românesc, so the esque is a thing. Tort românesc sau tort englezesc. Romanian cake or English?
Ei sunt largi.
Larg is the stem and the I palatalizes.
Ei sunt largi.
They are large. Big, wide, large.
Ana și Andrei sunt fermecători și atrăgători.
It's like agent nouns. Ana and Andrei are sunt fermecători și atrăgători. Any guesses? Fermecători.
Ana și Andrei sunt fermecători și atrăgători.
Let's see, I recognize ferme, which is like close in French.
It could be, it could also be, maybe what?
Trattori could be the number 4. And then atragatori, I recognize gator.
I think the first one's, my guess for the first one is farmers, and the
Fermecători.
okay, nope, way off.
Atrăgători.
Charming and attractive.
Atrăgători.
There we go.
Okay,
The tor
like
is an agentive suffix ter, tor of Indo-European. So our what was it?
Fermecători.
Charming and attractive. Let's look this one up.
Fermecători.
So for some reason, if it doesn't grab the text on your first attempt, just resize your window and it might get it. Fermeca, to charm, and tor, for an agent. Farmec, perhaps from farmacare, pharmacum. So drugging, bewitching. Charming, actually not far off. A charm could be something you concoct, I suppose.
Doi băieți fermecători și două fete atrăgătoare.
Okay, very reminiscent of the scrisoare ending. What would it be? Două fete, so it's a feminine plural. Very doubtful that it would be a dual form. Look at the different numerals, by the way. Doi masculine, două feminine for two. Two băieți boys, two charming boys. That's us. And two girls, attractive.
Merele sunt mari și atrăgătoare.
Merele sunt
mari.
Mari.
Merele sunt mari și atrăgătoare.
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 Interesting that it inserts that a before the r. Atrăgătoare. Merele. The apples. Un măr, masculine, unless it changes its gender for the plural, which I suppose it could, like Italian does sometimes. Then illi is the fused article there at the end of merele.
Eu beau un suc românesc.
So beau, spelled just like bull. Any guesses? Eu beau un suc românesc. We have. Noi avem. A table. Let's see. Mensa. Masă. O masă. I need the special character. And it's broad. Largă. Largă. I suspect it's going to rhyme. Și. Lungă. Since it's indefinite, should just be the Chandra accented A. Noi avem o masă largă și lungă. Are we not alive? Noi nu suntem vii. And with that, let's go to check. So check, please. And maybe we can wrap that one up in a bit.
I like how the German name of the country where Czech is spoken has 4 letters making one sound.
Well, I suppose in the phonemic system of German, might regard it as 2 sounds still.
Okay.
But yeah, we would consider
This
one
is
for English.
It's a fun one to say.
I
Die
may have,
Tschechische Republik.
or Czechai also. I may have mentioned in that English pronunciation class my friend Ashley, whose name has twice as many letters as phonemes. Okay, and check. What is the check?
Sure enough.
Where are you, Jack? There we go. The triangle shape. Do you, as an avid listener of that flag podcast, know what it's called when you have that triangle shape on a flag?
I don't know what you mean by flag podcast. I do not listen to some podcasts that have some flags. That's called, well, I know what the different parts are, the triangle. Let me look that one up. I know that part of the flag where it is called the hoist.
Hoist. That's just the left-hand side of it, or what does it mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, because you're hoisting it there. That makes sense.
C'était.
Hezka.
Hezká.
You see hezka.
Si dítě.
Si dítě. You are. Dítě, is that a child?
Dítě.
Yes. What was it in
yes, that's called a chevron.
Nice, thank you. That sounds very true. Dziecię, whoops, the Polish word for child. I think it also had this dzie in it. A question for Google Translate. Oh yeah, bad was zły, child. Dziecko. Dziecię. Kind of different looking, but I think these are cognates. Dziecię.
Si dítě.
Dziecię. Less palatalization there in Czech. A child. Yeah, you are child. You are Zofie. Ty Zofie. Ty si Zofie.
Žofie.
Zofie.
Ano, jsi velká holka.
Si velká
Velká
holka.
holka.
Yes, you are a pretty girl. Big girl. Velká holka. Ano, si velká holka. Oh yeah, and was it yesterday or the day before you asked about particularly adjective inflections? You do see that in Czech. Look at the different vowels at the end. Velká, and there's an audible difference too. It's not just in spelling.
Ano, jsi velká holka.
Well, maybe not too clearly, but I think the accented ones are always long.
Ty si Žofie.
Ty si Žofie. Žofie. Ty, you are Žofie. You are František.
Ty si
František.
František.
Ty jsi velký.
Ty si
Ty jsi
velký.
velký.
Pretty? Big. Are you big? You are a woman. Jsi žena.
Jsi žena.
And believe it or not, the žena is cognate with ban in Irish.
Jsi velký kluk.
Oh, yeah.
Jsi
Jsi
velký.
velký kluk.
Makes sense.
Greek gune and all those nice ones.
Mhm.
English queen. Are you big? Ty si velký.
Ty si velký.
Velký. Long there, second vowel.
Ty jsi žena.
Ty si
Jsi
žena.
žena.
You are a woman, here you roar.
Jsi hezká.
Ty hezká.
Hezká.
This one means attractive, right? Pretty. Si hezká.
Hezká. Si hezká.
Hezká.
Si dítě.
You are a child. To be singular.
El este un bărbat cum se cade.
El este un bărbat cum se cade. He is a man. Do you remember the derivation of this man word?
Cum se
Bărbat?
cade.
It's a
Yeah,
participle.
the beard.
The bearded one.
It's something about a beard.
Barbatus. The one who has a beard. He is going to be probably not a sugar man or nor an empty man, but a nice man.
Cum se cade.
So what could be the source of this one? Let's
With
try.
something.
Yeah. Definitely looks like the with preposition. Cum se cade.
Whatever sacada is.
Yeah. The insect. Cum se cade. Wow, how it is proper. How it falls itself, apparently. I like the abbreviations when it says masculine or feminine or neuter. Looks like it's telling us morphorn. Here. Cum se cade. 3 parts. We were expecting it to be 2, more or less. At least I was. But it's 3. Cum se cade. And cum is interesting there. But cum in Latin
How it is
means
proper.
how, yeah. What a beautiful word. That's kind of my favorite so far today. Cum se cade.
Oh, synonym. Kuvinchos.
Oh yeah, the good. The CI is probably going to give a ch sound, a uniform. It's my guess. Find out. Good eye. I would have overlooked it. Kuvinchos. Kuvinchos. proper, becoming, decorous, decent. Cuvință. Oh, like convenience. Wow. But anyway, from the root of venire instead of cadere, a similar construction, but with a different verb and without the reflexive. He is a nice man. And let's hear it again.
El este un bărbat cum se cade.
Cum se cade. So this one isn't going to inflect because it comes from that sentence or that clause structure. Same shape for all three genders. How nice.
Femei abia apă rece.
Apă rece. Apă is aqua. Bea apă rece. The woman drinks probably cold.
Rece.
And note the agreement there. Rece. Also the palatalization is worth noting. Rece, rece.
Masa este tare.
So since, well, maybe not all of them. I think there's like in Sardinia or something where the e and e do not palatalize a k. But almost everywhere in the Romance-speaking world, you get the palatalization. It's probably a feature of Latin. Masa, the table, definite. Masa for indefinite, and here this is a fused one. Este. Oh, we also have just e. There's long and short forms for these copularies.
Okay.
Istare. What do you think? Probably hard and not large or butterfly.
Yes,
Are.
probably hard.
Tare.
Hard, tough, light.
Tare.
I
Eu
wonder
am
what
un om
butterfly
tare.
is in this. It's so different in like French and Spanish. I know.
Papillon and
Mariposa.
mariposa. Thank you. Let's find out. Let's look up the Polish too while we're here.
Okay.
Motyl. Looks like future with an L. Fluture. Butterfly, throttle, flyer, spangle. Looks like to flutter.
Eu am un om tare.
Fluture.
Am un ou
Tare.
tare.
Okay, let's hear it a few times.
Eu am un om tare.
Eu am un om tare.
Eu am un om tare.
What do you think it means?
Eu am un om tare.
Tare. Why you tell me?
Eu is I.
Good.
I think is some sort of verb.
Is habere, habeu.
Specifically okay. I have a tare. A hard, tough, or solid O.
Add an to that. To the end of the noun. O-U-U-M is my suspicion for what it reflects. Let me capitalize it, see if that helps. In the chat. I think it's this Latin noun.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, egg?
I believe so. I have a hard egg, which is a neuter one. Ovum. Cognate with egg, believe it or not.
Cafeaua este dulce.
This is the definite. That coffee, the coffee, este dulce. What could that be? The coffee is sweet. Very little change in this word in Romance. Dulcis for the nominative, in masculine, feminine. Dulcis, and that suspected of being cognate with likis of Greek, the glyco stem.
El este un bărbat eficace.
Milish in Irish at all?
To what word?
Milish, that means sweet in Irish.
Dulce? Seems kind of...
I'll write it. It doesn't sound like it.
Well, I know the word milshan, the sweets that you eat. Milshan,
This is the adjective.
Doesn't look very likely to me. I suppose crazier cognates exist in the world, but I don't see much that they could share. I want the Romanian dulco. Yeah. With dissimilation in Greek. Dulcis. Old Armenian. Look at speaking of crazy cognates, if you ever study Armenian, It's probably the most off-the-wall one in the Indo-European family. Here we have dulku, the edamon, sweet. Ancient Greek glukus, modern likos, iliki maybe. And in Old Armenian, the form is kautsr.
Wow, just
Yeah.
spelled P that's crossed out.
Not a,
The
oh, it's a
U1.
kautsr is what it actually is, I think. Those are glottalized stops in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
One day we should learn the Armenian letters because they look like Roman script kind
They're
of, but
not far off, yeah.
they have different meanings.
Yeah, I think there's like 35 of them or so. El este un bărbat eficace.
El este un bărbat eficace.
Eficace
Eficace.
makes sense. Can you break down this English word, effective or efficient? What parts do we have? The cognate of the Romanian one. It's a compound.
I get 3 morphemes
Good.
when I try to do that.
Yes, excellent.
There could be more that I'm missing. Okay, 3 is correct.
I think so.
So you have X,
Yes.
which is out of,
Good.
and then the next one is make, and then the next one is it like derives a person that does.
Participial.
Like student, it's that end, I think.
Active
Okay.
participle. Yeah, very good. We see the vowel reduction of the root facere, facio, which is very common in Latin. Efficace, efficacious would be even closer in form.
Eu am o ceapă iute.
Ceapă looks like that cowpole word. Eu am o ceapă iute. Do you remember what o is?
Yes, it is una.
Exactly. So what could a ceapă be? Ceapă. Could it be a hat?
Ceapă.
Onion. Okay.
Iute.
Spicy onion.
Oh, Savoio.
Very good. That's what I'm trying to think of. The spicy onion. Eu am o ceapă iute.
I don't recognize this word iute for spicy.
Me neither. Let's find out more. Iute. Looks like the Jutes, the tribal name. Okay, it's a Slavic one. Ljutva. It's interesting that they use the apostrophe there for this, maybe for the soft sign for palatalization, versus the yer, the hard yer, or the whatever it is, right? Hard? Is that what it's called if it was a w type vowel? Can't find out more there, but let's look for some other. Wow, what a broad range of readings. This one is all meanings. This one's also more formed. Fast, lively, deft, hot, spicy. Let's look for fast in Polish, say. No, let's find it in Czech. Rapidny. Let's try Russian. Hello. There it is. No liu words here. Maybe spicy. Let's do that. Likantni. No luck. Some other time, perhaps.
What was the other meaning? Deft?
Swift, lively, deft, as well as fast and hot, spicy. Yeah, I'll leave it up there for a moment.
Eu am un unt vechi.
Oh, nice. UNT. Eu am un unt vechi. Okay, so I think the H, as in Italian, shows blocking of the palatalization action.
Eu am un unt vechi.
Vechi. So I'm going to guess it means old.
Vechi.
Yes. It comes from the old word for year. Vetus, vetus rather, I should say. We have it in veteran, an old warrior. Now, what could unt be? What do you think there? I have an old something. Un unt vechi. Is it a dog, like German Hund? Probably not. Might mean butter or unguent or something.
Vechi.
Wow. I may have seen this before, but it is butter. I have an old butter.
Butter. Wow.
Yeah. So do you know the word unguent? For like a... Oh, ointment would be related to. But let's just...
Oh, okay.
I think that would be the root.
I know the word ointment. I don't know the word unguent.
Yeah. Okay. Unctum, where we get ointment, that you lose the medial consonant there, the k, and you're left with unt.
Okay.
I have an old butter. Yeah, we don't really say butter, but they do here. Eu am un unt vechi.
Femei are două mere moi.
Moi. Okay, what's going to be your guess for moi? I have one. Femeia are două mere moi.
Women have
No,
two.
not plural. Femeia. It's a singular. The woman.
One
Singular definite.
woman. Okay. The woman has two.
Mere is apples,
Mere.
but it's some adjective with it.
Okay. Apples.
Moi.
More.
Okay, remember what was the one where the
Two
L
more.
dropped? Oh, no, that's not what the L one.
From like molto.
I think it's going to be mollis, meaning soft.
Moi.
Okay.
Soft, tender, it seems to be. Two soft apples. There was another adjective, I forget which one though, we saw here today in Romanian, where an L dropped in this environment.
Oh, this word, you said mollis
Mollis.
for soft tender?
Yes.
I bet that is related to the Irish word for sweet that I mentioned earlier, milish.
I'm going to disagree. I think that one's going to reflect Indo-European melit, which means honey, but let's find it.
Oh, okay.
It could be milish. Irish. Milish. From Old Irish milish, Proto-Celtic melissis, which looks very much like the Greek word for bee, which is built on the honey word. From meli. And meli, Proto-Celtic, honey. Okay, it's showing the stem as melid, but I believe in inflection it's a T form. And there's an entry for it. But let's look at the Irish paradigm, neuter I stem. Mieli, 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 mielish, mielish. Okay, different spelling for this Proto-Celtic, of course. It's not Irish. Melois. Okay, but think of how a genitive... So, what is this is a masculine I stem, but it's still worthwhile to compare. What's the ngus form of Agni? Ngusosam genitive. Remember how this goes.
Do you want which number?
Ngus. There's only one ngus in the paradigm. Singular. That's the one. Good. Yeah, you get gurna for the stem, and the suffix itself is just an S, which becomes visarga agnehi, and compare that to this melois. It's an E final stem, but you've got now O grade showing up in that second syllable of the stem. So that seems
it could just be by analogy with the dual.
Right, but how did it get there in the dual then?
It's the os for dual, right? Genitive less os.
Os, that's I think a different O. The Sanskrit O is a diphthong O. I don't believe that's true for the Celtic O. I don't know enough about Proto-Celtic, but remember when you see O on A, it's a letter O and letter E for Sanskrit, those are diphthongs. They represent two underlying segments. It's not a simple vowel. But so by that same token, the A of Agni, Agnehe, really reflects something like this. This is closer to Indo-European for this noun. Ungnais, or nois maybe. The full grade on the suffix, on the ending, second syllable. In fact, because those us, so the su, just, shus, ngus, ngusi forms are hard to keep apart. Let's do a quick review. The su form of agni, please tell me, and I'll fill in the rest, except for the one that you just provided. What's the su form?
Agni.
Exactly.
Agni.
Good.
Agnayaha.
Agnayaha. Good. That's the Jus. Also Gunna of the stem. Agnayaha. The Shus is also in this same area. It's got an us basic suffix here. What's the that I would tell you? It is Agnin. This one, the oddest. We've got the Nus, which you provided. Nusi is also there. Capital I. This is also Agnehi.
Okay.
So even though in these three, the bottom three there, Just, Shus, and Nusi, he's all the suffix being appended is us in all three cases. Different outcomes for all of these.
Okay.
And let's look briefly at this melid of Indo-European. Yeah, it's really a T. The D would be the jush final, in which it might occur in a sentence. It would have melid, but underlying a T, because when suffixes are added, it's voiceless. Melit, melit, yeah, only singular. And then, let's do it in Sanskrit order. Instrumental, mliteh. So that's ka. It's a different T. T is part of the stem here. Dative. It's a nge. Here we've got mlitei. This one. I can zoom in a bit more. We don't need these other columns. Isn't this beautiful? Nge.
Yeah, what is this word amphikinetic?
It talks about how the accent goes. It names the accent pattern of Indo-European. Where do you see it? There. Okay, yeah, this is giving us inflection, names for inflection and accent categories. Athematic means there's no final o on the stem. Amphikinetic, I'll show you what it means. We've got initial accent in these top three forms. Melit, melit, melit. Versus mlites, mlitei. You can have final accent. Some nouns will have the accent in one place, but in this one, amphi means both ends of the word, and kinetic meaning it moves.
Okay.
Good
yeah,
question.
like amphibian, and also
Amphitheater.
ambos in Spanish.
That's the one. This phi here in amphi is case ending, or it's the same thing that we have in bis, bias, biam. For those oblique cases.
Oh.
It's amphi really is an inflected noun form. It comes from gent bihi, in the face of. Like this, gent bihi. Anti is in the same family, same source noun there. This, and look how that affects the vowel grade. When you have the accent on the suffix, instead of meh, you have just syllabic in the first syllable. So this could give an in some languages. But this is a very, very stable word because M and L are not very liable to change, sound change. Now let's look at the locative. Either melit, this is called a flat locative when there's no suffix on it, or you can have ni ending on there, meliti. And that's when that's noteworthy because the accent is still on the first part. So the E suffix works a little differently, at least in this paradigm. All right, Albanian melita, Anatolian milit malit, Armenian meur meu for B, Celtic meli, Germanic mili. Our word mildew continues this noun. Ancient Greek meli, Italic melli, Turkic bal, question mark. That's interesting. So much interesting stuff to uncover, and we were just talking about mollis.
Ea are o pâine subțire și veche.
Okay, another wonderful, rich Romanian sentence here. Ea are o pâine subțire, that's going to be a phrase, și veche, all of this. A bread which is, what do you suspect? Veche,
She.
Old. She has something and old bread, loaf of bread. So no article here.
Look at these little accent marks underneath the T and the F too.
Okay, so under the S it changes it from S to sh, so it retracts it. And under the T, it tells us it's a ts, affricate one, so delay release. Same symbol, but different values in these two letters, two combinations.
Subțire.
Thin. So I think this subțire will be related to our word subtle, is my feeling.
Pâine. Pâine. Subțire.
And I can't get the word. Give me the word.
Subțire. Subțire.
Subtilis, subtilem. Thin, slender, slim, or sleazy. How nice. A nice sleazy bread. She has thin and old bread. Yeah, okay, it wants loaf of bread for pâine.
Ele sunt femei cum se cade.
And what was it? Just nice? How do we translate cum se cade? Proper?
Yes. Nice.
Thank you.
Cum se cade.
Or
It
decent.
falls
As it falls, as it is proper.
correct.
How it is proper.
Ea este o fată dulce.
Ea este o fată. Here's the basic form of the girl word. Singular indefinite. Dulce. This is a nice simple one. What's it mean? Ea este o fată dulce.
She is a sweet girl.
I believe so.
Usturoi iute.
Ustroi iute.
What is the etymon of this word for girl? Fata.
Fata.
I don't recognize it.
Yeah, I forget. Let's see, do I have Romanian here? No, not quite. I think it might be unknown, but let's see what we can find.
Usturoi.
There is the Latin word fata, participle, meaning spoken. And do you know what English word comes from this? There's a couple. Fetus is the source.
Fate.
Fate is one. Good. And then there's one that came through French, which lost the T, and then got other stuff added onto it. And that is the word fairy, believe it or not, is a doublet of fate. Oh, look at this. This day root, as in the Slavic word for children. Dítě, which we saw in Iche in Czech, is cognate with this fata word. Yeah, okay, it's telling us the same thing here. Doiti, OCS. Foetus, in Latin, fetus foetus. Pregnant, youthful, young, fruitful, recently given birth. I'm glad we checked. So it's also cognate with female. That comes from this root too. Ustroi iute. What was iute again? It was spicy.
Spicy.
Thank you. Good memory.
Usturoi.
Spicy garlic. Pungent clove of garlic also.
Eu am un cuțit rece.
Eu am un cuțit rece. Rece was bad, right? Do you recall?
Rece.
Cold. Huh. I have a cold.
Yeah, I think. Rece. Oh, the bad word had like an L.
Okay. Oh, it was
Red.
rău, yeah. R-A-U. Rău. And cuțit. Any guesses? Any feeling on it? Cuțit. Okay, so it's basically ță, the accented T, but the I there in a weak syllable will palatalize. Cuțit.
Eu am un cuțit rece.
Nope, never mind. Cuțit it is.
Cuțit.
Okay, cultellum or something. Knife. I have a cold knife. Why not? The better to serve revenge with.
Eu am un unt vechi.
I have old butter. I've got a butter to pick with you.
Ea are o pâine subțire și veche.
Ea are o pâine subțire și veche. A thin and old loaf.
Oh, and remember, this one wants a loaf of bread.
Yes, very good, thank you.
specifically in the translation.
It's thin and old. So it is. That did it. Beautiful. Okay, what do you feel like doing next? Let's stick with Eastern Europe. We could go back to Hungarian or Czech, or onward to some others. Polish, Yiddish.
Where are you drawing your boundaries of Eastern Europe?
That's
we haven't
true.
done Greek in a while,
Okay, let's do Greek.
have we? Or maybe we did.
That's in there. We can get another family. Let's do a Yiddish later on, but Greek for now. Let me add to the list, yeah. Ooh, how would you feel about reading them aloud to practice your Greek alphabet? This is just the one accent in modern Greek. Sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, good.
Αυτός τρώει μπισκότα.
Oh, and regarding the Greek flag here,
Uh-huh.
the blue thing in the corner where it has that cross,
Nee.
that part of the flag is called the canton.
Can you write that one in the chat? Canton,
Yeah.
like the province in China?
Yeah, maybe.
Same spelling.
This is the word. That means that, like, the top left-hand corner,
Oh, you
the
know,
same place where on a U.S. flag there's
Yeah.
the stars, that area.
I wonder if
That's
that
called
word's
the canton.
connected to the German word Kante, meaning edge or border. Not border, but edge.
Oh.
I wonder. Let me look that up. Can you read this one for us? That's on screen. Canton.
Astos Railway. That's gonna have the stress. Astos
Good.
Roy. Remember, it's gonna yield a B.
Very good.
Biscotta.
Batting 1,000.
Astos Roy Biscotta.
Good. So we have got the 3 vowel letters there. Tro, E. It's not a diphthong A as it used to be, but epsilon iota is just E. So troi is a sequence. I think 2 syllables. Now
Troi.
troi is
That's perfect.
to eat is eats, third singular. What would aftos be?
Oneself.
No, it does look like that, but this
Maybe.
has become the third singular pronoun, he. Cookies is what it wants, and it's not singular, it's plural. Okay, so probably biscotto, neuter, plural biscotta.
Okay, so British English biscuit also means cookie, which is the cognator.
Do you
Twice
know
baked.
Do you know the etymology of biscotto and biscuit? May have mentioned it a while back. Oh, that should have an
Oh,
O
I
at the
just
end.
said it. Twice baked, like cooked twice.
Cooked twice, exactly. So what kind of
Because it
compound
was
would this?
bread, and then they like cooked it again.
I suppose beyond Tat Purusha, the Sanskrit grammarians don't categorize it, I don't think, unless the first one is derived from a numeral. There's a special class of numeral compounds, but this is an adverbial numeral, so maybe not. I would just call it a
Okay.
Tat Purusha. He eats
Both,
cookies.
Οι παππούδες μου διαβάζουν.
rather, neither biscuits nor cookies are twice baked anymore. You
Perhaps
just bake cookies once and biscuits, so, but it's still preserved in the etymology.
Indeed, yeah. If we were to demand that it ever be thus, that's what has been called the etymological fallacy. Just because the name of a thing has a certain meaning doesn't mean that that is always true of the definition as the word is used. Do you know the German calque of this? There's a kind of good that has components of the same meaning, but native ones.
I don't know, Zweifel.
Good guess. Zwieback. We have this, which preserves an old adverbial from zwei.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
All right.
Isn't it? Yeah, there's no adverb zvi anymore, but this is vouchsafed for us that there used to be. Which is a really cool thing about compounds. They can preserve old words and old morphology. Even things like forget-me-not preserves old word order of English. Ipapudes. Oh, I was going to let you read. Okay, I got the first 2 words. Can you read the rest? Should I get closer in?
Ipapudes mu diabazon.
Pretty good.
Diabazon. Is it OU? Is O?
No,
Or
oo. Always oo.
Oh, just like in French. Okay.
As in French, good.
The
Now
bazoon.
remember that the voiced ones, beta, gamma, delta, which are also right next to each other in the alphabet, are always fricatives in modern Greek.
Diavazoon.
Diavazun. I papudes.
Diavazoon.
So, papudes, I think babies?
Παππούδες.
Grandfather, that was close. What does the mu tell us? Note that mu doesn't have an accent on it, and it didn't in the ancient language either. Are you there? If you're there, I can't hear you.
Am I saying it again?
What does the mu tell us? This third word.
Oh, my.
Good. Yeah, it's possessive. Now, the ba here, the root, and the verb, baino in ancient Greek was to come. It's cognate with come, and venire of Latin. Even though it doesn't look like it, it was a gwum root. Gwumyo was the protoform. Baino. Gwumyo, and IE gives baino, which becomes veno. Here, this is a different stem with zeta, and via, of course, a prefix. It means they walk through, etymologically, but what the verb now means is read. They walk through it with their eyes, means they read it, or just intransitively. My grandfathers read.
Το κορίτσι έχει τα πιάτα.
Take it away.
Okay. As soon as it appears, I will do so.
Deal.
To koritsi. Koritsi.
Koritsi.
Echi. Ta. Piata.
Piata. Now the kai, right, basically velar fricative, but I think it's, in this environment, it certainly will be palatal, and maybe it generally is too. Palatal or glottal. Echi. It's the ich laut of German rather than the ach laut. You know what tokoritsi is?
Yes, that means the girl.
Good. Echitopiata would mean, this is an Italian noun. Oh, tapiata. Note the ta can only be one thing. It's neuter,
the
girl.
plate.
I agree. Girl has
Oh, echi is your have
yes.
word.
And this echi we have, and we've got some English derivatives, such as, what's the theological term, the study of the end times? Eschatology. That one has this root in it, in the first part.
Δεν έχεις πιάτα.
Δεν έχεις πιάτα. Δεν έχεις
Δεν έχεις πιάτα.
πιάτα. So as soon as that appears, can you translate? Just tell me if you don't know the word.
Triangle, okay, you're putting it. Then έχεις
Δεν έχεις πιάτα.
Oh, someone has a plate.
Good guess. It is that verb of having, but look at the ending. Έχεις.
Oh, you.
Yeah. And the then is the negative of modern Greek. It was in ancient Greek uden.
You don't have.
Uden is a nice fusion of u, de, hen. Not, the de is a particle and hen is one. So really kind of like not. Ne awicht. Not a thing. Not a one was this one.
Οι πάπιες και οι ελέφαντες είναι ζώα.
Here's the new tau giving a duh. Take it away as soon as it appears and as soon as you're ready. This is two vowels, not a diphthong, but a sequence of two vowels.
Papies.
Papies.
Kai.
It's written kai, but we say ke.
Ke. I. Elefades. Ine. Zoa.
Good. Elefades. I elefades. Ine zoa.
I elefades.
So what
Είναι ζώα.
Very good. Papies, I need to look at
Papies.
It's the ducks. That's our starting phrase. Και ο ελέφαντες means
And the elephants
good. Είναι.
are in the zoo.
For in, it would need a preposition. What would it be for in? It would be. I don't recall. There's no preposition, though. You're on the right track with zoo, but it's not that particular derivative. It's a more basic noun meaning here.
Alive. No.
Close.
Animals.
Animals. Yeah, that's it. Do you know Aristotle's description of the human being? He said we were political creatures. What that was in Greek? It's this noun, zoia politica.
Okay, I thought it was.
I guess
it was bipeds. No, that's Plato.
Plato, yeah. Or maybe for politic, was it zoia politica? Maybe like social animals would be a better rendering. But zoia, that's a case where we have the iota subscript. It was an ancient diphthong, zoi, and that one was lost. So for a while they would write omega on the line and put the iota as a little dash below that.
Οι φίλοι τρώνε τα μπισκότα.
But modern Greek just drops it. Okay, whenever you're ready on the next one, it's another form of a verb we saw a few back.
Οι φίλοι
Good.
τρώνε τα μπισκότα.
Good. Very good. Nothing to improve there on the pronunciation. Fili. I fili. The dear ones.
Φίλοι.
The friends.
Okay.
The lovers.
Oh, friends. Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure out how that was a noun.
It is right. It's basically an adjective, or really even older, a verb. Philosophos, a love wisdom, a lover of wisdom. So it works as an adjective, but as a noun, friends. And friend, by the way, historically, and German Freund was an old participle with that nt one that we said. This is a present active participle as it comes out in Germanic. The old Indo-European nt giving nd.
Oh, like the word Freund and like Freude? Is that
They're related.
People
the
like
old verb
enjoy being with?
The old close. The old verb is preserved in Freya, the goddess of love, a lover.
Okay.
Meaning. I fili trone. What could
Wait,
it be?
that's the goddess of love. Oh, that's why they put that for Venus.
Vendredi.
Friday.
Yes,
yeah.
That's right. It's a good equation.
Okay.
So what is
trone?
Trone.
Is trone.
We saw troi a few sentences back.
The biscuit. Or the cookie.
Yep.
Trone.
They verbed the cookies. And what's the verb?
It wasn't eat?
It is eat. Oh, did you say it? I just missed it.
Okay.
Yeah. Trone, third plural. Troi, third singular. Good.
Do we have any
derivatives?
This word anywhere else?
Not that spring to mind.
In English or other ones.
Right. In ancient Greek, it had a gamma that got lost. Drogo. Might have meant to chew or gnaw or something. Let's look it up. Drogo. I believe that's the form. Trago. Terch. Meaning gnaw, nibble, munch, eat vegetables or dessert, or later just eat. And let's look at derivatives. Look at the very rich inflection of a Greek verb. On and on and on. Descendants draw. Yeah, I don't know of any English ones, and this doesn't tell me of any. But we could have relative words going back up the tree, and then coming back down. Terch, if we just go to this, terch. Okay, tero, meaning boar, I guess. Tritus, maybe trite? Yes, trite is a derivative, like a worn expression. Worn out. Do you know this word? Trite? Meaning hackneyed, commonplace, often in reference to a word or phrase used so many times that it is commonplace or no longer interesting or effective. Trite. That's good to know. I'm glad we looked. An eaten, a chewed up, rubbed away phrase. Keep an eye and an ear out for trite. I'm sure it'll pop up eventually.
Εμείς έχουμε πάπιες.
Okay, whenever you're ready. Emis. Oh, I shouldn't say it. That's you, Jeff.
Emis. And you wanted this chai to be palatable instead. So
Εμείς έχουμε πάπιες.
Actually, this one does sound velar.
echume
But the
Εμείς.
accent one
Papies.
is syllable one.
papie.
Papies.
Echis.
Emis.
Emis. Echume papies.
Even better. Yeah, that's good.
Εμείς έχουμε πάπιες.
Echume papies. Emis echume papies. So if you look at the first word is pronoun, and then look at the verb ending, see what that could. It's present tense, of course, because we're early on in the course here of Greek. It's a simple present ending.
What was papies? I forgot.
Papies.
Yeah,
Good
that's
question.
the we form. We have.
It is, yeah. So emis is the pronoun. We have papies. Ducks.
Πάπιες.
Oh, and note the ending here. S, what would be the Sanskrit equivalent? What would Panini call the Sanskrit equivalent ending? Papies. It is the object. So structurally it would be shus, but formally this is really a jus ending. The S was the old Greek nominative plural. It's now doing duty of accusative as well.
Οι χελώνες τρώνε ψωμί.
Okay, question. You said that this word of having was in eschatology.
Yes.
What does that have to do with having?
That's a great question. Eschaton is like extreme, I think. Yeah, how does that come about? Eschaton. Let's find out. Eschatos. So this katos. Oh, you know what? That could be a false derivation. Okay, possibly. It seems an uncertain one. The esk could be from the old ex pronoun outward, in which case that would not be true. So maybe let me think of a better English derivative. In the meantime, can you read this next one for us?
And this is going to be the palatable. Echelone. And eta or epsilon by itself, I think, is also e. So e.
No.
Chelonis.
No. Look,
No,
it's the same epsilon. Yeah.
E. Chelonis. Trone. Psomi.
Good. Ichelones trone psomi. Here's a cognate of the.
Okay, so
the echo verb.
Psi still has both, even if English can't handle both.
Oh yeah, it's still a cluster. Real quick on that echo root to have. Here's a cognate, German Sieg.
Okay. Was bedeutet Sieg?
Victory.
Okay.
I'll give you the IE form too. In the meantime, what do you suppose chelones might be?
Well, it's a noun.
Indeed, that it is. The article
I suspect
and
it's
ending.
plural.
Yep. Jus. This is a true jus because it's a subject.
Χελώνες.
I think we have some biological terms that are derivatives of this. The turtles. Do you know any of the names of like proto-turtles? I think there's like Colonidae or something. Let me pull up Wikipedia. If we look at the family name, Testudines, that's from Greek. Okay. Coloniae, synonyms. We've got some at least. 200 years ago, we had some technical terms from this Greek word. Drone psomi. Do you know what psomi is?
Well, let's see. The turtles eat from the. So, see. No, I don't.
It is bread. I don't think it's a very old word.
Τα πουλιά τρώνε ψωμί.
But here it occurs again.
Oh, I think we've seen that before, but it doesn't look like pan or boat or
Nope.
feb or any
Nope,
of those.
it's its own thing. It is one that it introduces early on. You see psomi throughout the early stages of the Greek course. Now, pulya is unknown to me, but can you tell us what the case and number is? Or gender, rather. Gender and number of this one. That we have enough.
Πουλιά.
Feminine, singular, nominative.
No, this is
Nope.
good guess with the a, but remember how the article of Indo-European goes. So, sa, tod is deadidas in Indo-European. The nominatives have s if it's an animate gender and t in all the other forms. And this one has t, so it can't be feminine singular. That'll be just eta Greek.
What else has an A on the end?
Yes.
Neuter plural?
That's what it is. Exactly right. A neuter plural, and that's reinforced by trone, by this form. Reinforced. That agrees with it anyway. Pulya is birds. Trone psomi.
Oh, like pollo, maybe.
It does seem reminiscent of that. I agree. Let me look up pollo. A specific bird. This is a general noun, though, in Greek. Genus and species. Polch is an Indo-European one. Animal young.
Or I think it would be pullus in Latin.
So it is. Good. Polus. Foal of English is related. Okay, ultimately Indo-European pech, meaning few, small. Puta, Sanskrit. Very interesting family, all over the place, kind of. What is trone psomi?
We got confused what animal it was. I guess someone did.
It just meant young of animal. It wasn't specific.
Okay.
Pulya. What's the rest of the sentence?
To eat the bread.
Yeah.
The birds eat bread.
Eat bread. Good. What would it be if it was the bread?
Ta or
No, singular. To. I believe it's to psomi.
Αυτοί είναι φίλοι.
These are nice. These are all ancient words. Very lovely. I'll let you read it. Hard not to. By the way, doing great on the pronunciation. I think you get it pretty well. Very few issues.
Afti.
Ne.
In fili.
Fili. Good. They are fili.
They're friends.
That's it.
Οι παππούδες τρώνε αυγά.
Nice one.
Hey, can you make a list, or I'll make a list of all the things which are pronounced E.
Oh yeah, there's like 7 or so.
I'm going to make a collection of them.
All right. Do you want to read, or shall I go over the reading?
Let's see. I can keep reading.
Okay.
E.
Τρώνε.
Oops.
Trone. Avga. Avga. Oh, because the gamma is voiced, so this not become F. It becomes V.
V, that's right. As a coda. That's interesting. Because in German, you hear the V only in an onset, and in Greek, well, the beta gives the same sound. But these diphthongs with upsilon, only hear it as a V in a coda. Οι παππούδες τρώνε αυγά. Avga. Papudes.
Okay, so far I
Avga.
have 4 things in my list that are pronounced E.
Okay, what have you got? By the way, we
So
saw
be on the lookout for the others.
O word in Romanian. Here's the Greek cognate. Avga, eggs.
Avga.
I assume it's a cognate. It's developed quite a bit from ancient Greek.
Οι πάπιες σου.
Papiesu.
They keep the G sound, which English got rid of, and then reborrowed the
That's right.
Scandinavian
The
form.
Norse kept it too, and we took it from them. Egg. We liked it so much we doubled it. Actually, it doubled all over the place in Germanic.
E papies su.
Ipapiesu.
E papies su.
I think it would
See,
be.
my mnemonic for the su and all those is just like in French, the omicron upsilon is pronounced u.
Yep. Like we saw the other day, it may not always have been that anciently. In some cases, it reflects an old diphthong, o, but scholars nowadays just pronounce it oo wherever it shows up. Remember papies?
Ducks.
It's a 3-word phrase in Greek, but we just need 2 in English for this meaning. Ipapiesu.
The ducks of mine.
That would be mu. Ipapiesmu.
Oh, of yours? No,
Your ducks.
maybe your ducks.
So it's a little roundabout, but if you remember, mi casa es su casa, even though that really also means his, her. The su, which sounds alike, means your. And
Oh, because it's the usted.
yeah, the usted.
It's su as in usted. So that's instead of
Καβουλιά,
that,
χελωνές,
because that
πάπιες.
has the third person, I'm going to think of the one that's on the verbs.
Okay. Like
Right.
sip, tip, sip, mip. For instance, that works.
Yes.
Yeah, do that. Okay, we have 2.
Cavuria.
Good. Kavuria.
Cavuria. Chelones. Papies.
Good. Kavuria, I don't know.
Κάβουρια.
Okay, sometimes the accent diverges from what's written. This word is crabs. But the other 2 we've seen. Chelones.
Chelones. Oh. Papies is duck.
Good. Chelones, turtles. And let me just mention there was anciently a difference between omega and omicron. That's why there's 2 letters. But nowadays they're exactly the same sound. Chelones. There's no language distinction. So what have you got for spellings of the E quality?
Έχεις παγωτό, όχι μπισκότα.
I'm just going to say them in their English names.
That
So,
works.
epsilon iota,
That is, yeah.
omicron iota,
Good.
eta,
Mhm.
iota.
Yep. All true.
So 4 so far.
All right, there's others.
Is that everything?
No, that's others still.
Okay.
You might think, let's see, have we seen any today? Okay, the word for 10,000. What's that? Which we borrowed it.
Yeah, I know the English borrowing of it, myriad.
Good.
But I don't know.
The very first syllable, what vowel would it have? It's got a Y in our spelling.
Yeah, so that'll be an upsilon.
A whoopsilon. Upsilon is also an E sound in opposition. Well, except in au, actually. Au, ew. Av, af, or ev, f. There it preserves its old
Just an
value.
upsilon by itself?
If it's not in one of those diphthongs, yeah, then it's an E sound. It's done the same thing as the French U, the old U of French, shifted to U, and then the Greek went a step further and unrounded.
Oh, so when it was U, that's when they borrowed it in to make the letter Y.
Makes sense, yeah, doesn't it? Otherwise, those
And
other
then-
qualities they have
Then it
letters
went
for.
and changed.
Yeah, that's right. So we can
But it needs both. Okay.
fit that into the chronology pretty well with that kind of a logic, yeah. Okay, you want to try the next one?
Echi. Nope, palatal. Echis. Pavato. Pavato. Ochi. Or Ochi.
Oshi.
Ochi biscotta.
Yeah.
Παγωτό.
Okay, from the word ice. You have ice cream, not cookies. Έχεις παγωτό, όχι μπισκότα.
Οι πελεκάνοι είναι πουλιά.
Well, I pelecani είναι πουλιά.
Πουλιά. Οι πελεκάνοι είναι πουλιά.
Pelicans are birds.
Yep. Yeah, I think we would omit the article for English. Yeah, pelicans. Oh, I wrote it with an eh. It was too influenced by the Greek pelican.
Τα πιάτα σας.
All right, a nice noun phrase.
Pelican. Ta, piata. And this is also the you possessive, but it's different because it needs to be matching with piata. So maybe your plate.
It could be. I don't know. Maybe it means plural possessor, though.
Oh, your all's plate.
Maybe.
Is
The
this-
plates are not singular, though.
Okay, your all's plate. We
That's,
would say your plural plate.
I believe so.
Είναι τα ζώα φίλοι μας.
And note the what looks like the semicolon. It's easy to overlook. Done it many times.
But indeed, even though it looks like a semicolon, it is a Fragezeichen.
It is a Fragezeichen. It's a mark of a strawberry.
Yeah.
Two little
Ine
beats.
ka zoa fili ma.
Perfect.
Oh, but you have to say it like a question.
Maybe so.
Mas?
Tafilimas. Note that the verb is first. That seems significant. The syntax probably is a lot like Germanic languages overall.
Okay. The live ones, the animals,
Yes.
my friends.
Yeah.
Are the animals my friends?
That's how I understand it too. Where's the phrase boundary between topic and the rest? So the comment part, the predicate is actually split up here. It's interrupted.
Okay.
What's the subject?
The animals.
I believe so. Tazoa.
Zoa.
And I would say the predicate is inephilimas. Oh, but it's not mine. That would be filimu, I think. Mas, like our friends. But we've got the M as in mip and mus, the verb endings.
Αυτός τρώει μπισκότα.
Okay, this one we know.
After disappear. Aftos.
Dos.
This plural. They eat biscuits.
They would be afti.
Oh. Aftos. And after, I think all the after ones are third person. No, aftos, yeah.
They're deictics.
This is
Pronouns
singular,
now. They're just
even
the
though it
regular
ends with an
pronoun.
S.
It's totally unmarked. It used to mean
Are
self.
they all third person?
Well, yes, they are. I don't know what the reflexive ones in modern Greek are. They might incorporate this. There's a famous, who was it? Who said no? Who was it who said know thyself? I forget who it was, but I can tell you that.
Shakespeare had "To thy own self be true," thine own
Yeah,
self.
but he didn't. He knew
That's
he had
different.
but little Greek. There was a Greek philosopher whose famous dictum, one of his famous sentences was, "Know thyself." I will look it up. I'll give it to you in Greek in all caps. This has a nice contraction in it. So here's some all caps Greek. Can you? Oh, wrong one. Wrong vowel there. Sorry. Disregard that, please.
Okay, because they hadn't invented lowercase yet.
It's true. It came much later. I think it should be this way.
No. Oh, you took it out. Okay.
One of the
Did you
Delphic
put it in the
maxims.
chat?
So no name. Okay. No name associated with the utterance itself. Just the oracle at Delphi, I think.
Gnothi. Oh, nope. This is ancient enough. The theta should not be a fricative yet.
Right.
Gnoti. Tauton.
And that reflects se auton. Se means the. Like thy.
No, the yourself.
No, not that the. Thee, object form of thou.
Oh.
The
Okay.
theta iota ending is an imperative marker. No t, you recognize the root. It's cognate with no. No imperative. Se auton, thyself. There it's reflexive and it's fused with the se. But in modern Greek, αυτό is the stem for he, she, it, they.
Είναι τα ζώα φίλοι μας.
Are the animals our friends? Είναι τα ζώα φίλοι μας.
Are the animals our friends again?
That's right, that's the one. Okay, I think let's do Yiddish and call it an evening. 6 languages, not bad.
Oh, and the Greek, I will note that some of the letters in British English, like theta in British, is called theta,
Theta. How
if I
nice.
recall correctly. So all of those, I think, that have eta in their name.
Do they say
Theta,
beta?
beta, and so on are called beta, and so on.
Do they call it beta, I wonder? Alpha, beta, gamma?
I believe so.
Wow. Ich gehe
But I could be wrong.
nicht sie fies. Nicht sie fies. Ich gar. Ich fahr ahen. What's that? There. Interesting. I recognize this very final word here. But what does ich gehe nicht zu Fuß mean to you?
I go not to the feast. Oh, I go not by foot.
Yes, I believe so. I'm not going by foot, I'm driving there.
On. How do we say in it?
Oh, ahin, the hin I recognize now. But there's no ahin in German, if there ever was. Dorthin, dahin, we could say. Schick ihm ahin. Want to try this one? Schick ihm ahin.
Ahin. Is this shin represent a sha or a sa?
I think unless it's a Hebrew word, it's always going to be sha for Yiddish, and that's what it is here. There is a verb.
Okay, and if we wanted a regular S, we'd use zane. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That's my feeling. So what could do you know? Schicken?
To send.
Yeah, that's right. Schick ihm ahin. What would it mean?
Send him there, or it.
I wonder if it could be it. Good point. Ich hab ihm ihn, I guess, in sie lieb. Oh, in meaning and. Ich hab ihm in sie lieb. I like him and her. Bring sie aher. How nice. What do you get from this? Bring sie aher. Bring is interesting. The lowering of the vowel.
Bring the ahead. Bring her ahead. Here.
I believe so. Hither.
There. Okay.
Bring.
Oh, and this is.
Go ahead.
This is the accusative one.
Yes, that's right.
It
Bring
doesn't change to
aher
the
dein Kind nicht meines. Bring aher dein Kind nicht meines. I don't want to see mine.
Bring here your kid, not mine.
Exactly, and note the gender of child, minus, and the marking on this possessive. Oh, and it's also interesting that it's, well, as in German too. When you have dan as a determiner, it gets no ending. But when it's a pronoun, as at the end meines, there you'll have the inflection. The S suffix. Nicht meins, I guess it would be. Meins or minus? Probably meins.
Now that you have figured out kind of how the derivation works, you should start composing the sutras for the German grammar.
I guess that would be the next step, huh? Alrighty, I'll get on it. Bring mein Benkel. There it is. Bring mein Benkel.
Benkel is chair.
That's right. From a
Right.
diminutive of bench. Aber nicht das.
But not that. Bring my chair, but not dance.
But
Oh,
not what?
not yours.
I believe so. Schick aher dein Kotz nicht meine. Okay, very instructive. Schick aher dein Kotz. Nicht meine. In German, how would it be? Quite, oh, well, not quite, but a little bit different. Some crucial points. Can you translate this into standard High German, please?
Schick dein. I would say schick dein Katze hier, aber nicht mein.
Devil's in the details. Well, on one point, we wouldn't say, if we're talking about sending to a place, we'd have to say here.
Hierher. Well,
But here, think of the few sutras that I had composed. Those will need to be revised, but remember what they taught. That's relevant here. Is it, though? This is a determiner. No, it's an adjective. Wait, it's a determiner. Katze is what gender?
feminine.
Right, so what's going to be the form?
It should be meine.
Well, except, yeah, meine for the last one, where it's a pronoun, where it's absolute. But what about your cat? Dan Kotz in Yiddish sounds quite different. How does this part go in German?
Dan.
Deine Katze.
Deine, exactly. It needs the ending. Schick ihm ahin morgen. Morgen. Schick ihm ahin morgen. Ta-da! All right. And right at the 2-hour mark. A great place to end it, I think. Any other questions, remarks before we call it a night?
None yet. I'm sure I'll think of one
Oh, you know where to
in the
find me?
time that will come.
Nah.
Indeed.
So you still planning to come down
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, you still planning to come down on
I
Saturday?
am, yeah.
Okay. Just
I
let me know
think
what.
I will go without you giving me a ride so I can walk and
Oh, that's
stop by
right.
the bakery.
Yeah. Okay. As you had said, that's true. So I will see you then. Oh well, and maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, if we get a chance.
Sounds like a winner.
네. 안녕히 계세요.
안녕히 계세요.